In 1999, a man was slowly dissolved alive, not by acid, not by fire, but by his own disintegrating body while doctors watched helplessly. This is the story of Hisashi Ouchi, and once you hear it, you won't forget it. September 30th began like any other morning at the Tokaimura nuclear fuel reprocessing plant in Japan. Hisashi Ouchi, 35 years old, a dedicated family man, clocked in for what should have been a routine shift. He and his colleague, Masato Shinohara, were tasked with mixing uranium solution, a job they'd done countless times before. But behind the scenes, their employer, JCO, had been quietly cutting corners for years. No proper training, no safety equipment, no regulatory approval, just buckets, deadlines, and blind obedience to a corporate machine that valued speed over human life. Japan's energy industry was under enormous pressure at the time. The country was aggressively expanding its nuclear program to reduce its dependence on foreign fuel imports, and that pressure trickled all the way down to the factory floor. Workers like Ouchi were caught between impossible deadlines and a deeply ingrained cultural expectation to comply, never question, and never slow down. JCO had even illegally rewritten their own procedures 3 years earlier, skipping automated safety systems and having workers manually handle uranium in stainless steel buckets, all to shave time off production. Nobody stopped them. Nobody said a word. That morning, Ouchi leaned over a steel precipitation tank as the uranium mixture was poured in. The concentration was 7 times above the legal limit. Then came the blue light. A blinding electric blue flash known as Cherenkov radiation tore through the room. The air itself crackled as an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction ignited. In seconds, Ouchi absorbed 17,000 millisieverts of radiation. To put that into perspective, 4,000 millisieverts is enough to kill half of everyone exposed. Ouchi received more than 4 times that, the highest dose ever recorded in a human being who survived long enough for doctors to treat. At first, he seemed almost fine. He arrived at the University of Tokyo hospital that evening, chatting with nurses and asking when he could go home. Doctors even allowed themselves a sliver of hope. That hope was crushed when they examined his bone marrow. His chromosomes, the very blueprint his body used to repair itself, were shattered. Some fused together randomly, others were obliterated entirely. His DNA had essentially ceased to function. Ouchi wasn't recovering. He was already dying, just too slowly. Doctors called it the walking ghost phase, a cruel window where the patient appears stable, but their body is already beyond saving. What followed over the next 83 days is almost beyond human comprehension. His skin, starved of the cells needed to regenerate, began peeling off in sheets. Medical tape couldn't be used on his body because removing it would take his skin with it. His lungs filled with fluid. His intestinal lining died and sloughed away, leaving him unable to absorb food or water. He hemorrhaged so severely that doctors performed 10 blood transfusions per day just to keep him alive. 10 liters of fluid had to be pumped into his body daily to replace what was constantly seeping out through his disintegrating skin. Changing his bandages alone took nearly half a day. Nurses reported seeing him crying blood. The cruelest part, he remained conscious through much of it. He expressed love for his wife. He asked to go home, and while his family stood vigil, refusing to let go, Ouchi himself had long since reached his limit. He reportedly whispered that he couldn't take it anymore, that he was tired, that he just wanted it to stop. Doctors attempted everything: revolutionary stem cell transplants, skin grafts, experimental treatments, never before tried on a human being, but the residual radiation inside his body corrupted every transplanted cell, destroying each attempt to heal him from within. One by one, his organs surrendered. His heart stopped. His brain faded. On December 21st, 1999, Hisashi Ouchi died from multiple organ failure, 83 days after walking into work. JCO paid fines. 6 officials faced charges. The company lost its license, but no penalty brought Ouchi back or undid the suffering of a man who simply showed up to do his job. Ouchi's story isn't just a medical tragedy, it's a warning about what happens when corporate greed overrides human safety, when workers are too afraid to speak up, and when the relentless pursuit of efficiency is allowed to become lethal. Systems failed him, people failed him, and in the end, his own body failed him too. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. There are more stories like this one, stories that the world needs to hear, remember, and never repeat.